Welcome to another edition of Seeking His Truth. I'm Montreal Johnson, and I'm with Pastor Howard Bowden of Leesburg Church of Christ. Today's Q&A is, how is Jesus the only way to God?
Good morning, all. That's an interesting question, my friend. How can Jesus be the only way to God? Jesus said in John 14, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and that no man can come to the Father except he come by me. Historically, Jesus is the only man to ever make that claim. A lot of the other religious figures of the world followed behind that claim, claiming that his claim was the claim. But they never claimed themselves to be who Jesus claimed that he was. And so you first have to start with a foundation that when he shows up in the earth, God sends him and he immediately begins to point attention away from the apostles, away from the prophets, and to himself being that avenue to God. Now, you measure that, I think, by a couple of things. First of which is because of who he is, and then secondly, what he did. So when you look at who he is, he's God in human flesh, John chapter 1. You know that very well. And then nothing after that has replaced him. So who he is a faith issue. It's kind of like believing that George Washington crossed the Potomac. We didn't see that with our eyes. We read it in a book. We heard somebody say it. And so therefore we proposed that it was true. And so when Jesus makes that claim, and then the Hebrew writer would say, if we come to God, we must believe first that he is, and that he rewards those who seek after him, then we have to look at his person first of all and see that. And his claim was, he's the only way to get to God. So then the second part of the equation then is, okay, well, what did he do while he was here? Now, Jesus did some things no other man did. Jesus gave sight to blind people. He turned water into wine. He caused people who couldn't walk to otherwise walk. He raised a friend by the name of Lazarus from the dead. Now, I know a lot of religious leaders. I don't know any of them that did that. So there's got to be something special about this person called Jesus. Now, so we know who he is, we know what he did. So as you climb the ladder of faith and understanding things, there's something important about him that you can't find anywhere else. And you can find it in the Bible, you can find it in Roman history, you can find it in Jewish history, you can find it in several locations. Here's a man who walked the face of the earth for 33 years. And of course his people, the religious leaders of the day, as well as the government, didn't appreciate his walking, so they took his life. And they put him in a tomb. And 3 days later, he wasn't there. So there's got to be something more to this claim of being the only way to God. Because in that resurrection event, no other man known in human history has ever done that. Now, mind you, he didn't do it with his own strength. It was the Creator God who lifted him from there. And then he is walking around. Subsequently, to mediate for God and for man. And so, as this figure of the way to, only way to God, tell me when time runs out, because you know I get wordy. We have to understand not only his relevance, but we have to understand what he did, because what he did confirms what he said. So now if you take me and I say I'm the way to God, then the proof text is, what am I doing? What have I done to cause another person to believe that I'm the way? versus Jesus, and I would tell you hands down, I can't give you sight. I can't cause you to walk. Matter of fact, I might get you to giggle every now and then, but that's about as far as it goes. And so when you get into the scriptures and you get to the point where you get to 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse number 5, he will tell you that, or Paul will tell Timothy, that Jesus is the full embodiment of who God was. Now, for all of the faithful believers out there, if in the first century and 2,000 years plus forward, people in the world of Christianity believe that, and that is the foundation to our belief, then I see no reason for that to change today. So I'm one that's a stickler on Jesus and his teaching. And since he was there in the beginning as the Word of God, and that he took on flesh to become the man of God, then I certainly have no problems with believing that he's the way to God. Hope that helps you. You don't look like it did, but God bless you anyway, and look forward to the next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching and joining us. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us through our website. That's lbirdcoc.org. Again, that is lbirdcoc.org. lburgcoc.org. Thank you.